Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Dr. Angela Queen. I'm your mental ease host. I'm a board certified family nurse practitioner and psych mental health nurse practitioner. I'm also an educator, a professional overthinker, and a master overreactor. In this space, we're going to talk honestly about mental health, what it is, how it affects us, and how we can reach our best self. This podcast is designed for anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed, anxious, or who muttered, "I'm fine," through clenched teeth. If you ever said, "I am not angry, I'm just frustrated," congratulations, this episode is for you. So if you've ever said, "I'm fine," but your tone really said, "I'm absolutely not fine," welcome. You're safe here. I'm hoping these podcasts will help you with your mental health and give you mental ease. After all, mental ease is all about ME. Today's podcast is going to have a little bit of humor in it because we all experience anger. And instead of getting so technical about it, we're just going to have fun with it. So in segment 1, we're going to say, who cares? We're going to be talking about anger management, or as we call it, trying not to lose your cool over things that absolutely do not deserve this level of energy and rage. Anger management. You know those moments that set you off. It may be different for different people, but for example, when someone at work writes an email that starts with, per my last message, or per our last conversation, or please advise, friendly reminder, or even worse, in a meeting in front of people. You should already know this, or don't bring me your problems, bring me your solutions. So the whole reason I came to you is because I have a problem that I can't solve. Duh. That is very demeaning. But compared to others, those are actually friendly conversation getters, those type of emails. But they imply a lot. We're going to get into some more nitty-gritty in a minute. But now I want to look at relationships, okay? So what about when you're in a relationship with someone and they say, "You're overreacting," or "You're just too sensitive"? Does that not evoke anger? It doesn't me, but who am I? Or my favorite is, "What did I do now?" But the one that I use often and it always gets me in trouble is I start out with, I guess it would be nice to fill in the blank, or "I wouldn't have to yell if you would just listen." But that is true. That is definitely true. You don't understand, do you? You don't understand. You really don't. Those are my favorite to use. So this podcast is for me also. So let's just kind of clear this up a little bit. Set things straight. Anger's not the villain. First of all, anger is not all bad. And anger's normal. It's a normal human emotion. It's a built-in alarm system to protect us. Your brain is saying something just isn't right with me. But it does become a problem when it causes reaction and then overrules a controlled response. Remember that podcast I did very, very beginning of the year, my first little podcast about the difference between reaction and response? Well, we are revisiting that today. This clip is so relatable.
When things go wrong, anger is there. This is anger. He will make sure the world knows anger is in control. But what you really need to watch out for is when he's out of control. Get to know all your emotions.
Does that not look like how you feel on the inside with something maybe minor just goes wrong and you've hit your boiling point? And that cute little movie is so perfect for how you feel inside. But anger, what does it look like? It looks like explosion. It's contagious. It has a lot of sarcasm and it can do a lot of damage. But today we're not going to get rid of anger because we can't get rid of anger. It's a normal human emotion. What we are going to do is train it. We're going to make anger an untrained dog. We're going to teach it some better manners. Of course, I failed at that myself. I got 5 dogs and I have not been able to teach them good manners yet. So we're going to have to work on this together because obviously my training is not the best. But just know that we all feel anger at times. It's a natural response to threats, attacks, disappointment. It's very powerful, and releasing that pressure that we feel is building up inside us is often essential to let you deal with problems and just move on. But anger myths that we really need to retire. Let's just clear up a few lies anger tells us. Number 1, if I don't let it out, I'll explode. Well, I don't know about you, but in actuality, exploding never tends to make things better. It tends to make things worse. Another myth, calm down. Telling somebody to calm down is very helpful. Never. It is not. Ever. It belittles them and causes more anger. Another myth, I should be able to control this. Well, myth. Emotions aren't switches. We can't just flip it on and flip it off. There's signals, but with no switches. So anger doesn't need to be suppressed or unleashed. It just needs to be understood and redirected and retrained. So why do we even get angry? Just for the record, it's not just about the dishes not getting washed. Okay? That's not what all of a sudden sets us off. Let's be honest. Most anger is not about the thing we're mad at. It's not the dishes. It's usually about just being overstimulated and just being exhausted. Now, I'm going to show my age here and show you a clip from a movie that I remember all too well. I still get a tickle from it, but it very explicitly explains being overstimulated and being exhausted and how anger becomes apparent in those situations.
Aren't you going to break it up? No, 2 more days of this, and you'll quit.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! No. Don't start this. Oh, no.
Pretty bad. I don't think I would blame him at all in that situation. Other one is being unheard. Feeling like you're not heard or being asked to do one more thing is another thing that sets the anger off. Anger often show up when boundaries are crossed, needs are not being met, or your expectations or the expectations don't match up with reality. So you're not irrational, you're just exhausted, overwhelmed, and feel not heard, not validated. Anger is actually most often the emotion that shows up last. Not first, last. It shows up last after stress, anxiety, or hurt that has just been ignored far too long.
Excuse me. Hey, excuse me. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's other people waiting to use the phone here.
There are?
Yeah,
Other people want to use the phone.
that's right, you selfish asshole.
Jeez, that's too bad, because you know what?
What?
I think it's out of order.
So, how do we know when our anger is out of control and needing some real retraining or management? When everything feels irritating. Everything. Doesn't matter what's said, everything just sets you off. When you snap and then you immediately regret it. When you constantly are replaying conversations over in your mind with aggression. So you're talking to yourself and playing it out, and you're replaying the conversation, and instead of you seeing it objectively, you're seeing it subjectively. And it's making you more and more aggressive in how you are pretending you would respond. So you're constantly replaying those conversations over your head, and you're getting more angry about them. Another way is you're fine in public, you can control everything, but when you get home, you lose your cool. And when your patience has kind of left the chat. In other words, your patience is gone. It's out of there. You have no more patience for anything. That's another sign that you might need some management. Listening to this podcast and thinking, is this episode about me? I don't know. Check yourself. Do you need some anger management? But here's the truth. People with the most anger are often caring too much, or they're caring very deeply about something in their life. And so they're very passionate. So passionate, burdened, and putting themselves last. Anger isn't you being too much. It's about you being too full. Learning anger management is really just about learning in general. Learning when to rest, when to say no. We talked about saying no and how that is important with grief. With anger management, especially when you're overwhelmed, you need to say no. So when to rest, when to say no, when to ask for help. Don't know about you, but I don't like to ask for help. I can do it all by myself because I feel like asking for help means one, I'm weak. Two, I feel like I'm going to burden someone else when I'm the one that's burdened to the max. I don't want to unburden anybody else. Learning anger management is also about learning when to stop apologizing for having limits and having boundaries. And I have yet to do that. I still apologize when I can't get everything done. So I'm learning from this as well. This is not just for you. This is for me. So anger management that actually works isn't really corny. It's just using real life skills. You've already got these skills. You've got these tools. It's just now putting them into practice. The first one is the pause. Yeah, the pause. Yeah. It's pretty annoying to have to do it because it takes intentional action. But the pause. Before reacting, take a deep breath, take another deep breath, and then decide in that moment if this moment deserves this much energy. Anger loves immediacy. Pausing steals its spotlight. So if you take that immediacy away from anger, it's being suppressed by the pause. Anger hates pauses. Second thing is check your body. This sounds so stupid, but so real. Check your body. Simply ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I just overstimulated? A lot of times I'm not saying always. Sometimes I'm just angry because I just want to be angry and it just makes me feel good, and that's not the right way to be. But sometimes I'm just tired and I'm being asked for one more thing. And so when I lash out, it's because I'm tired. It's not because I'm angry at that person. So stop, check yourself, check your body. Am I hungry, tired? Am I overstimulated? Sometimes the anger is just your nervous system saying, please sit down and eat something, or please lay down and close your eyes for just a few minutes. So, number 3, say it without setting anything on fire. Instead of, you never listen, pause, and then try something different. Try, as corny as it sounds, it really is getting your message across. Say, I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm just not feeling heard. Be honest. Okay? It's saying the same thing, it's just less explosive. Move your energy. Anger is physical, it's a physical emotion. So when you're angry, be physical. Don't fight, don't punch, walk, stretch, shake. Do something that is socially acceptable, but that will help with your aggressive feelings. One of my favorite is when I'm angry and frustrated and I can't really talk about things or whatever, I'm a cleaner. I feel like my list of cleaning to do. My house usually is very dirty. It's hard to keep up with 5 dogs and keep it clean. However, when I'm angry and frustrated, I will clean, 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 and I will clean for hours on one thing. It's productive and it helps my anger. I don't really get anywhere, but it's still me acting out my anger instead of verbalizing it onto somebody. So, this was just a little bit of fun podcast this week. Just know that if anger shows up, instead of judging it and saying, okay, I should be ashamed of myself, I shouldn't be acting this way, why don't you just stop for a second instead of judging yourself and say, okay, what is going on? What can I do? How do I need to get rid of this anger? Take a pause, check your body, get physical with your anger, not with the person. You need to get rid of the anger because remember, it is a natural human response. Good luck trying. But it's a natural human emotion. Sorry, not a response, emotion. It's a natural human emotion. But it also is very much of a protective factor. So it's like our internal alarm saying we've had enough. We're overdone. We're overstimulated, and we're just exhausted. I'm also going to do a bonus podcast that's going to talk about some of the common phrases that people say that can evoke anger, and the implications or kind of the perceptions that the recipient would have. So it'll be coming up after this one. It'll be a short, just little bonus feature. And it's always fun to listen to it because I can listen to these things that are being said and I can automatically go, I've had that, or I've said it. So, but I hope this was a little bit more lighthearted today. And I just thank you for listening, laughing, and just being human with me today. But remember, you're not broken, you're adapting. And always consider that mental health is all about mental ease. And that is all about M-E, me. So until next time, take a deep breath.